Hello and welcome to Fireside Chats. Behind me we have Elizabeth Traylor and her sidekick, Wanderjoy. So tonight's topic on Fireside Chats is projections. And this is the psychological term of projections. But when you think of a projector, it is a pre-made film that is being projected onto a screen. So from a psychological perspective, we've had our previous experiences that are already there downloaded into our psyche. And projection is when we take those pre-downloaded experiences and we project them onto either a person or another experience. And so it creates an illusion and prevents us from seeing what is directly in front of us. Now, this is something that the inner child does. It creates the fantasy with a PH. You can look that up. It's a depth psychology term. And I recently, in a matter of 45 days, had an experience where I was faced with 3 instances to face projection. Now, I asked the universe to basically cut through my own illusion because I've been diligently working on my own cycles and patterns. And I've been noticing where they have prevented me from moving forward in my life. So be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Now, what I dealt with in the matter of 45 days is more than anyone should have to deal with. But it seems to be on par for the course of my life, so it is what it is. And now I'm on the other side of it, and I'm now going to share that wisdom with you. When we project something on to someone, right? Usually, and more often than not, our needs that were not met as a child, right? We usually will project that onto someone. Now, it could be a partner, it could be a friend, etc. Because we want that need met, and it happens unconsciously, okay? And most of the time, we don't recognize that we're doing it. Now, if you've ever worked with me and I've taken you through the EDHIR process, there's a moment where I will tell you to get big, where you get so big that you are not affected by the human experience or the emotion that you are experiencing. Now, we all have this. Now, the secret to this is staying big all the time. Now, that's easier said than done. But when I was faced with these 3 situations, I stayed big, which means I maintained the observer perspective as the situation unfolded in front of me. I did not like what I was observing, but I stayed big. Now, when you stay in the observer perspective, you're basically gathering data, okay? And you are taking that data so that you can analyze it. And you cannot unsee what you have witnessed. And if you are staying the observer, it's not going through your projection. Now, if you're working through, or if emotions are coming as it's happening, more than likely you're struggling staying the observer. So I had this beautiful opportunity where after 15 years, I faced my parents. And if you've read my book, you'll understand the context. I'm not going to go into that, but I faced my parents. some would say the monsters of my childhood. And after maintaining that observer, my inner child no longer was able to project the illusion of what she wanted mother and father to be, because she then witnessed the reality of where mom and dad were at, the sad state of where their addiction had taken them, and the incredible dysfunction of their psyche. And the adult in me was able to set a very clear boundary. Now, that boundary was not well received, obviously, but that's okay. The important thing here was maintaining the observer, and I could not unsee what was unfolding in front of me. Therefore, the projection of what I wanted mother and father to be, that illusion was cut away. Now, within 24 to 48 hours after that, I had another opportunity with another family member where another boundary had to be set. And again, throughout their entire life, I did not want to see certain behaviors. But because of what I had experienced 48 hours prior, I could now see it. And I couldn't unsee it. Now, I also need to acknowledge the amount of inner work that I've done just to be able to get to this place, right? It has not been easy, and more work will continue to be done. And then, not too long after that, I was faced with another situation where information was presented right in front of me, and I could not unsee what was right in front of me. And while I did not like what I saw, I could not unsee it. And therefore, the projection, the illusion of it, cut right through it. And that's exactly what I asked from the universe. Those three events created such a shift and it took my life in a completely different direction. Now, it was a direction that I knew I was going to take it, but it happened at such a rapid speed. That's how Elizabeth Traylor came to be. It is how I'm sitting in front of this campfire right now and doing this video. And the reason I'm explaining all of this to you is because there is a beauty in diving deep and doing the inner work. You may not always like what you see, but I assure you, what's on the other side is way more rewarding than the illusion that you might be living in. So if you're curious about looking at your own projections and you'd like to have a chat about that, send me a private message. That concludes tonight's Fireside Chats. Stay tuned, there will be more.